Okay, good morning, everybody. Woo, there we go. All right, let me get a screen up. Sorry for being a little bit late. Let's get that screen up. How's everyone doing today? It's been a crazy morning for me. Peter, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Dave Bell, good morning to you. Amar, good morning as well. Let me get the full chat up. Cody, good to see you. How is everyone doing? So, we're back again. Scalping, NQ, New York Open. I'm just saying a bunch of keywords for the live stream. Apparently that helps. All right. Man, I got a crazy story for you guys today. What happened? There was let me explain in a second. Let's just have a look at the Open. I'll explain in a minute. It's nothing trading related. It's completely unrelated to trading. But yeah, crazy stuff. All right, so the Open was pretty weak. Volume-wise, it's almost like nothing's actually happened, really. Pretty balanced. All right, nothing too spectacular. Fair play. Okay, so I'll explain what happened. Let me just get my cash account up as well. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so working as normal today, right? Earlier on, sitting here working, and all of a sudden I just hear the loudest explosion. And this isn't like a firework. This shakes the house. It's like I've never heard or felt something that loud before. And it really, like a really deep explosion. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like that was different. So I look outside the house and I see like smoke not far away, maybe like 100 meters or so, near where there's a petrol station just at the end of my road. And I hear another explosion, like again, like really loud. Luckily, the windows didn't shatter or anything. I'm like, damn, the petrol station is exploding down my road. So I rush outside, and everyone else is rushing outside, obviously. And yeah, the police and fire engines are already on the scene. So I'm assuming there was a fire beforehand already, and they already evacuated the area, and then everything exploded. But yeah, the whole petrol station exploded, just maybe like 100 meters away from my house. I'm lucky that none of the windows shattered or anything like that, because my God, that was ridiculous. But yeah, so that was a bit eventful. Apparently no injuries. I know someone who works at the local hospital. They said no one's come in injured or anything. So everyone got evacuated, so no one got hurt, which is good. But yeah, bit of excitement there, I guess. Bad part is now I have to drive further away to get petrol. So it was quite convenient having that petrol station at the end of my road, but oh well. Neil, good to see you. Good morning to you. It was an expensive explosion, I'll tell you that, with the fuel prices right now. All right, so we are selling off a bit. We are selling off. In terms of like the 15-minute, I don't really have any major levels. Everything's a bit shit. Like that was a tiny gap, but there's no point even having it on the chart, to be honest. I wasn't really interested. There's a little one down here that might have a bit of a reaction, to be fair. Kind of lines up to the point of control of yesterday, so I'm going to put a line there, actually. Keep that on the chart so I don't forget about it. And then we've got another little gap here, but nothing spectacular. It's all a bit choppy and rangy up in these areas. So yeah, nothing too spectacular. Obviously, we've got nothing ahead of us, really. We're pretty much at all-time highs. We're not far away from all-time highs. So yeah, just basically, we're just going to have to trade the footprint, basically. Use a bit of logic and try get a few scalps in, but there's not much really that we can trade off, at this moment in time. So I'm just going to bump up the footprint. Maybe let's make it to 16. Looks a bit better. And try and analyze what's actually happened on the Open. So the Open, we did see, some buyers trying to come in, trying to push it up. They failed, and obviously they're probably stopped out here, I can imagine, or maybe even lower down, who knows, or sorry, higher up, maybe even here, hard to say. But either way, I think those are more likely fresh sellers. Buyers again tried to take it. So the volume distribution, very bearish, right? Buyers again, all kind of, in the upper range of every candle. And sellers just kind of took over quite easily. Again, buyers still at the top. Now we're seeing sellers at the bottom of the candle, potentially trapped. So this could be the first sign of maybe not a reversal, but some kind of, move up. But nothing's really confirmed because this candle could go bearish very quickly. Sellers could enter and then there's nothing there. So, okay. So we just took out a low. All right. And then we got another low. We got another bunch of lows here. So we didn't really get, maybe we got a spike in volume, hard to know, but we're seeing buyers trying to come back in at these lows. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a bit rangy today, so I wouldn't be opposed to even buying, to be honest. It's a bit higher up now, but let's see how these buyers, 117.91, there's still sellers coming in. If we can get a bit lower down, get a bit of a better price, then I can have a really tight stop and then just potentially go in for a buy. Because I am seeing interest from buyers. And potentially we are above those sellers. All right, I'm going to go in for a buy. Why not? Let's see if this is more of a range than anything else. I'm not going to go in my cash account because it's not really... Yeah, it's not really... I wouldn't want to put real money on it. Let's just put it that way. But we can take a stab at it on the challenge account. Why not? And then really I don't want to go much lower than that low, so I can kind of have my stop here. And what we need is just a bunch of buyers to kind of break above here and see if we got a bit of a range kind of pattern, which it looks like we might be potentially doing here. We might just go back up to the top and then sellers come back in because it's looking a bit rangy. We'll see. But buyers really do need to break above, above here, just what they did now. And we saw a little spike in volume, but nothing major. And then sellers instantly jumping back in, the moment we spiked up. So sellers are still happy to short, which kind of gives me the bit of an indication that sellers are not going to give up that easily. And we might not get a full move up. We might only, that's as much as it will go. And then sellers are coming back in. But we'll hold it. We'll see. Maybe buyers in this region, because we don't really want these buyers to fail. But they're getting tested now. Let's see what happens. It looks like we're not really seeing much buying coming in. A little bit. They're starting to defend a little bit. So maybe they can take another stab at it and push it up again. But nah, they've just got cleared out there very quickly. And sellers are happy to transact at the bottom. Oh, big chunk of buyers came in because I'm pretty sure that was 70 and now it's at 13. All right, maybe not completely the end yet. There might be some hope for the buyers. There might be some hope here. Who knows? We shall see. Let's see if buyers can keep coming in. No, more sellers again. Oh, they just kind of poked above those sellers. Oh, they're looking quite good, the buyers here. There was a lot of sell pressure coming in. They held them off. But there's still more sellers coming in. They still haven't given up. But like I said, this isn't a cash account trade. Because it's not really... It's more built on a hunch that this could be a bit of a range. But sellers are... Like, even when we poked above, that wick there, sellers were willing just to come back in again rather than, what's the word? Rather than kind of admit defeat, I missed Coach Z. Good to see you. I missed yesterday's live stream, but glad to be back today. Good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. Peter says, did you for a split second think it was an Iranian drone or something? Jeez, bro. You know what? It did enter my mind. When I heard the original explosion, I was like... But then logic kicked in. I was like, why on earth would Iran attack this random little town in the UK? Like, it's just stupid. You know what I mean? So yeah. But for a second, I was like, what the hell? No great levels today. Yeah, no, nothing really today, Cody, isn't it? Udagesh, good morning, my friend. How are you? Holy Earth, good to see you. How are you? Iron Bug, good morning. ZT Content, good morning. Everyone's back in the chat. And we're just kind of hanging around here. Let's have a look at this. Let's see if this trade will work out. There are buyers coming in, to be fair. Ah, yes, ZT. You wanted to test something. It's 640 here right now, and NQ price is 26,835. Yes, so ZT, it is for me, well, 640, well, 241, and NQ price is at 837. You wanted to test the time delay, so hopefully you got that. Oh, look at that, we're breaking out. Sellers are dropping off. Our buyer's going to keep, what's the word? Keep at it. Can they? Maybe not. Oh, this might be. I think the sellers might start giving up here, potentially. 60, 73, 80, 69. So there are a few sellers coming in. Oh, big chunk. 120, 90 back down. 80 are still shorting it. 30, 60. Oh, we went above them. This is very 50-50 now. But sellers are still willing to short. I thought for a second they might actually drop off here. But this volume at the top here, this is more just sellers getting stopped out. But they use that opportunity, excuse me, to jump back in. I mean, if buyers can get above these fresh sellers right now, there might be something here. If buyers can get above, they really need to get above this 80 right here. If they can kind of, just pop it up above, I can imagine sellers will kind of back off a bit then. Let me just delete that drawing. Oh, here we go. They might do it. I think buyers might have it, potentially. They are above. There's some of those sellers dropping out. Damn, they did it. Can they keep that momentum all the way back to that high? Let's find out. Let's find out. 92. So we want to see the buy numbers keep kind of coming in and reloading. We don't want to see the buy numbers stop, 95, 93, 12. So there are some sellers coming in. 95, 93, 11. So there are still some buyers, but not huge amounts. But I think if they keep it up a bit, they can actually pop through here properly. Buyers. Oh, sellers are coming in again. They're not giving up, these sellers, are they? They are just shorting the crap out of it. I thought they would give up by now. Go on, get above that 100. There we go. Any second, surely the sellers will give up. I mean, a lot of them were stopped out, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of fresh sellers willing to keep jumping back in, And normally once a little move has kind of happened, they kind of, all right, they back off for a bit and they wait for the next high or next area where they want to jump in. Like, you're always going to get some selling, but aggressive, like big selling, like we just saw there, generally they give up. And I think surely now they're going to start looking at giving up here. Because this is, how many times have they failed now? They failed multiple times, sellers. And they're still coming back in. They're still not giving up, which is slightly disappointing. I'm not going to lie. But buyers are holding them off for now. So it's not completely, end of, although it's annoying having a lot of sellers coming in aggressively because it's kind of preventing the market from just shooting up nicely. Buyers are actually holding them off. So as long as buyers can keep holding them off, it should be okay. There we go. See, and notice the volume distribution now. It's looking nice. It's looking very kind of bullish. The volume distribution. The moment those sellers lift off and start, all right, we're not going to re-enter. We're going to wait a bit. Let's get a better price, and they start, calming down a bit. We're going to get some decent movement, hopefully. Buyers still coming in, which is good. Buyers are still happy to transact near the top, which is a very good sign. But they just need it. Clearly, they need a little bit more aggression because look, they're putting in quite a bit of orders here and they still haven't popped up properly. They need more than that then. A little bit more. Maybe an extra 50, 100 contracts and we might just shoot up. If not, because it's the first sign of, oh, there we go. Beautiful. Again, that 110 at the top, which is now 130, that's probably, again, stops getting hit. Oh, they just got, come on, buyers. There are still sellers in this market. They're just not giving up, these damn sellers. They really don't want the market to go to the higher again, which is slightly annoying. What I am gonna do though is actually put this to break even already. And really, I don't really want to go much below that 152. So if I do 856 as start trailing it, 856 around there. Oh no, that didn't work. There we go. 856, somewhere around here. I'm trying to get it perfect. There we go. So at least we can just hopefully it rolls to the TP. That would be, nice. But if it gets us out at 856, it gets us out at 856. Well, it's no big deal, We're going to trail it a little bit. We don't really want it going below that. But there are sellers coming in, but they're still, come on, we need to get above them. We don't want to fail here. There might be the first signs of failure here. Might be. Unfortunately, I think we might. Come on, buyers. Just pop up again. Don't trail me out. Come on, get above. Come on. We're out. All right, no big deal. No big deal. That was the first kind of sign of failure there. We saw now, couldn't quite get to the high, bit annoying. Got very close, but it is what it is, It is what it is. Let's see. Daniel, good to see you. How are you? Peter, so we are still sideways from Friday session. What do you reckon is best with drawing your volume profile to cover that whole period? Or is it better to draw volume profile in less time? Yeah, I would say if you have to use the volume profile, then maybe just look at the legs within the range essentially, but put less emphasis on it. I would say really you should only be interested in trading, at the highs and kind of near the lows. Anywhere near the point of control. I know I literally just took a trade at the point of control, but that was, again, I didn't do it on my cash account, even though it kind of worked out nicely, got a little bit of profit. That looks really dodgy. Sorry, I just realized what I drew. But what was I saying? Yeah, try to avoid the point of control. Just because it's going to be, very choppy and it's just not really. Damn. Oh dear. I do apologize for that. Hopefully no kids watching. Oh dear. But yeah, I would say, you know, put more emphasis right now on just kind of the footprint. I would say the volume profile will essentially always like this, and that's just you know, a range basically. So there's a small gap here. Don't get me wrong, that because of the distribution, if we do kind of get back down to these areas, there is a good chance we're going to go back up again, just because we are naturally in a range. So yeah, try to trade at the extremes, you know, at the highs, at the lows, and avoid what do you call it? Avoid the middle basically. And if you are in the middle, just be super cautious, really low expectations. Like even this, you know, couldn't even take the high before we already kind of went. And now we might go back up again, and it will just be annoying market to trade, unfortunately. So you have to grab what the market gives you in these sort of situations. Like I'm doubtful we're going to get a nice trend. Let's put it that way. Coach Sam is the best coach ever. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. 2 balls and a stem. Pretty flower. Yeah, that's what it was, a flower. I don't know what you dirty individuals are thinking I drew. That was clearly a flower. You wish. Oh, dear. See, again, look, we just took out the low a little bit. And instantly buyers coming back in. We're just ranging. This is a shitty range by the looks of it. Sorry, I can't get comfortable. My chair keeps like moving. Oh, there we go. All right. Again, look at these buyers just coming in at the bottom. Yeah, it's not a great market. Treat it like a range, essentially. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. Hopefully we get, you know, we break out and we kind of get something a bit more interesting. I mean, let's check if there's any news today. I don't think there is. No, we've got nothing really today. So nothing scheduled. Oh, we got something at 247 came out. I didn't even notice a reaction. What was 247? So up here, like, yeah, the market's not even reacting to Trump extended Iran ceasefire for 3 to 5 days. Now, you would think that would have a bit of a reaction, right? Considering yesterday there was a lot of, you know, they're not going to extend the ceasefire, blah, 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 blah. But that was the most, I mean, nothing really happened. The market did not react at all to that news. If anything, afterwards, it dropped down a bit, which which is kind of, you know, should be the opposite of what it did. But yeah, I mean, that's quite shocking. I think that's the first time we've seen something, you know, related to the Iran war, whatever, and the markets have not reacted at all to it. So unless that's a wrong timestamp or so at 2:19 apparently something happened. Iran talks possible as soon as Friday. Okay, so at 2:19 that was. Where is 2:19? Okay, so this candle, yeah, I can already see it. No, that's 2:09. 2:19. This yeah, look, the reaction is minimal. See, I thought it was potentially this candle here, but then again, look, we're seeing the insider trader back at it again, people. Right? Just look at the volume on this candle 10 minutes before. You know, a news candle. That's the news candle, right? Look at that. The volume spiked massively on the buy side. someone bought up, all right, granted, not a huge amount, but a lot, still more volume than the actual news itself. All right, it didn't really work out massively in their favor. The reaction wasn't as great as they probably expected, but nonetheless, again, 10 minutes before, someone is buying quite a lot. So that insider trader is still there, but I'm kind of shocked that the markets aren't reacting much to the news anymore, which might be a good thing, because I think recently, how annoying has it been? You know, you're trading, you're in a trade, and all of a sudden something gets said, and just, off it goes. You get stopped out, whatever. It's been a bit. There's always been that kind of fear in the market of like, please don't say anything, please don't tweet right now. When you're in a trade. And we're scalpers, scalpers. We're only in for a few minutes. Imagine if you're like an intraday trader or a swing trader, like you're almost guaranteed to be hit at some point by some news. Like it's very hard to trade if you're a swing or intraday trader right now. Really, scalp is the only way you can these kind of conditions. The only way you can really make money, because it's pretty much every single day something unplanned has come out and the market has done something, a crazy move. So yeah, for an intraday or swing trader, you're almost guaranteed to be stuck at some point. I have to say, these past few weeks or months or so have been the hardest trading ever. Thank God I have the knowledge I do to succeed. But wow, absolutely, Eric. I'm telling you what, if you can just not lose money in these conditions, right? Not even about making money, just not lose in these conditions, you're a damn good trader, man. And you gotta, do you know what I mean? You gotta pat yourself on the back, because if you can weather a market like this, you're doing something right. And then when the markets are much more calm and easier to read, and there's not so much chaos, essentially, then you can up a bit more size, you can be a bit more risky. But realistically speaking, you've got to trade low size right now and just be super cautious constantly. And all right, don't get me wrong, occasionally you might get lucky. Imagine you're buying, and something good comes out and the market shoots up. All right, you can get lucky in that respect. But ultimately, do you know what I mean? It's all yeah, when it's so fundamentally driven, it is a game of luck, essentially. Yes, Eric, insanely hard. Absolutely. Yes, mate. The interactions with oil is is a pain in the ass. Absolutely, man. Crypto, no worries, man. Glad you can join. Glad you can join. So, still in this range. Again, volume distribution is looking slightly bullish again, but we're kind of dead in the middle of the range now. There's no trade. Really, I mean, your best bet would be to enter long right at the bottom, and then, all right, fine, you can have a stop quite close by. If you get stopped out, it's no big deal, right? It's only a small loss. And then enter short at the top, literally just range trade, But when it's like in the middle here, yeah, it's a ball ache to trade. It's a real ball ache. So I've been working on, yeah, Peter knows about this, but just to give you guys an update, I've been working on a few like different indicators, right? So count how many upticks, like create a cumulative efficiency score for the market, right? So essentially what it does is, say the market ticked up 100 times or whatever, and there were 70 down ticks, right? And then divide, I think, divide the amount of upticks divided by the amount of buy contracts, and that will give us like an efficiency score. So how many yeah, how much an average buy contract moved the market, and then the same with the sell side, and then plot it in on like a chart, right? So I had it create something like that. So let me go to Pine Editor. Then this is it, and then let me add it to the chart. And I asked it to make it look like candlesticks, right? So anything over 0 is basically 0 is the middle point, right? And anything above means the market is more efficient bullishly, and it's cumulative, so it adds up candle per candle per candle, right? So you can see we started the day. Here's the day where we started, so it resets every day. And generally the market was more, it was more easier for the market to go up than to go down, essentially, right? So it took less buy contracts for the market to go up than for the market to go down. And it's generally been more bullish, except for like a little period here. It dropped a bit bearish, where the bears were more efficient. And then again here, slightly, the bears were a bit more efficient. But overall, it's been more bullish, right? So I've been playing around with it just to kind of figure out sentiment. Like the idea being that if we're above, if we're more kind of, if the market is more bullish in terms of more like efficient on the bull side, we kind of only want to be looking at taking bullish positions, right? Because it's more likely that the market's going to easily go up, or go up easier than it would go down. So yeah, I've been playing around with it. And I wondered maybe I could find some sort of divergence or something within the efficiency, you know, like if I just do it as candles, maybe I can. So I literally only had this built today earlier. So I was like playing around, but like you see how, you know, this high here, and then we had this high here, and it's going down. Here we had a bit of a divergence. So I don't know, like I'm thinking there might be some sort of, I don't know, something I can build based on the divergence, but I'm still playing around with it and having a look. But I think it's quite cool though, because at any point I can just kind of look and be like, right, the market is more efficient on the bull side, so I'm going to wait for a pullback and then jump in bullish. Even on the range day, like today, where it's just sideways, it's been better, according to this indicator, it's been better to buy than to sell. Do you know what I mean? So even if you took just random buys, you know, at every sort of time the market dipped, it's been easier, more likely. You're not fighting the market as much if you went in long than short. Now, granted, it's only a little bit more bullish than bearish, and overall, it's kind of, you know, it's hardly like massively more bullish. Like where it was really high up, like here, you see how like, oh shit, what have I done? How did I do that? Control V. Ah, there we go. Yeah. So you see how in this area here, it went really high up and it started shooting. So this is like momentum. Now, although on the chart, it didn't go as high as it looked on the efficiency score, buyers were extremely efficient here because it was just boom, 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 boom. Like their contracts were just really, you know, moving the market. So, and then we never really went back below there. If you actually look, like this is where it kind of took off, where it became really efficient. So here, we've never kind of gone back to that area. Like the efficiency itself has kind of gone down, and you know, sellers kind of got a bit more efficient in and around these areas. They kind of held it off, but overall, where the initial boom was, we never kind of came back here. So yeah, overall, I'm going to be a bit more bullish on this market. I don't know, I'm just rambling on now. I'm just showing you random stuff ChatGPT made for me while this market does whatever it does. So yeah, maybe if you guys want access to it, because I've looked at the code and everything seems to be working quite well. The only weird thing is, so it will create wicks in real time, but like if you add it to the chart, it won't show the wicks. It will just show candles. But then once you add it to the chart and it starts updating in real time, it just shows massive wicks everywhere. Still has like the candle bodies, but I guess that's how like the efficiency has changed. So it went all the way, really efficient up here for the buy side, and then really like I don't know. But I'm just kind of choosing to ignore the wicks because they just look ridiculous. So I'm just looking at like the bodies of the candles. That makes sense. I'm choosing to ignore the wicks. So yeah, if you guys want that indicator, I don't know how to publish it. Maybe I think I can publish it. Publish script. Here we go. All right. Let's see if I can publish it. So let's call it something secretive. So only the people within this live stream. Give me a name, right? Something really secretive that only, people in this live stream can, what do you call it? Can find. And then we'll put it on TradingView, and then everyone can, in this live stream, you can have a look and play around with it. So tell me a name in the chat and I'll publish it. All right. The best advice I could give anyone is make your profits and run as fast as you can if you are on the sidelines with profits. The markets can't take it. Coach or anyone I always have seen before any big correction or crash, you say there's always a huge run up. Thoughts anyone? That officially score indicator looks amazing, mate. Sellers wake up, garage explosion, Sam petrol station boom, petrol fire. All right, I think I'm going to call it. I feel like if I put Sam petrol station boom, I'm definitely going to get arrested and investigated. So maybe I will call it petroleum. You're going to get a bunch of oil, random oil traders, but oh, this must be a oil-based indicator, and they'll be like, "What the fuck am I looking at?" Petroleum. All right, midday petroleum, midday petroleum boom. All right, that's the indicator's name, midday petroleum boom. And then I'll for the description, I'll be like, for my peeps in the live, enjoy. There we go. So no one will ever know what the hell they are. All right, it will be public. Categories. I guess it'll be it'll be a volume based one. So we'll add it into the volume category. Add more to your description to for fuck's sake. All right, fine. Welcome to midday petroleum boom indicator, designed to make your life more efficient using magical trading strategies. This is not going to get approved, is it? Only available in a super secret live stream. If you know that shit, no. Oh my god, I can't type. You know. Wink, wink. All right. Let's see if. There it is. Guys, there you have it. You can now download the midday petroleum boom indicator Enjoy it. Play around with it. It's available on TradingView. So yeah, we I wonder if it gets any downloads outside of what do you call it? Outside of this live stream. I highly doubt it. I don't think anyone's going to download what the hell this is. But there it is. It is available now. Let's get back to the chart. How do I get back to the chart? I don't even have to use this. I'll just go to TradingView. Where's my option to go to the chart? What's going on? Oh my god. Here we go. Products. Super charts. Cool. Okay. All right. Let's see what's happened. What has happened? So we have finally got to that high. So again, we're only really looking to buy even. Buyers are more efficient in the market. So we're only really looking for buys, but we want to kind of see a bit of a pullback because let's be honest, sellers are still able to push it down. They're not completely out this market. They are still a dangerous threat nonetheless. They can easily create good pullbacks. So, but ultimately want to align ourselves a bit more bullish than bearish. So if we get back down, maybe, near these lows again, we can start looking at potentially, jumping in if we see some good stuff on the footprint. We did take out that high. So let's mark that high out. Yeah, we saw, look at that volume spike around here. Definitely some profit taking happening. Stops getting hit. So that volume we can forget about. Some sellers trying to, short the high. Buyers coming back in, more sellers coming back in. Buyers getting stopped out, you can see, as we kind of, move down. And then buyers buying it back up again and successfully moving up. And then sellers who were in that move also getting stopped out. Fresh sellers coming back in, more sellers coming back in. Again, sellers getting stopped out. Buyers coming back in. Buyers still coming back in. So we're looking for, you can see how buyers are kind of failing a bit at the top here. So I'm expecting a bit of a pullback, and then we can probably potentially jump in again. So we're just going to put that black line on these lows here, just nicely there, and then we'll get another line at the top of these highs. So let's see if we can get a pullback. It is funny how you all went for the petrol station, like Peter said. Everyone's just going straight for the petrol story. It looks like buyers we didn't really get much of a pullback here. Buyers are still coming in, still happy to buy it. Let's see where the all-time high is and other highs, like significant highs. We haven't actually marked them out, to be fair. We could be, oh shit, did we just go past all-time highs? We absolutely did. I did not even realize that. Well, there you go. We just crossed all-time highs again. Because the all-time high was here. Yeah, we just crossed it. Didn't even realize, see? We are back at all-time highs, everyone. Very fun. Damn, look at that. All right, well, we do kind of want to wait for a pullback. And then we can go long again. Man, actually looking at it, we had so many opportunities to go long, to be fair. But never mind. All hindsight, right? Everything's easier in hindsight. Still need to take a cash account trade, hopefully, and get one in. I have no idea what I made on that last trade. $212. Well, that's not bad. But yeah, I could have made a lot more. Really getting that nice bullish structure. It's funny, earlier I was saying, I just don't think we're going to have a trend day. I might be, I think I'm completely wrong. I think we can absolutely have a trend day now. This is looking very nice. Show you how someone can manipulate the masses, tell an interesting story. It's true, absolutely true. It was mental. Okay. Here we go. Can we get a pullback here? Come on. Give me a pullback. Still about 25 points away from all-time highs on ES. I think it's going to hit it then, yeah. Look at that. Buyers are just buying at the top. They don't care. Is there any more news that came out since? Watch live. US Trade Representatives. Greer speaks. US Treasury Secretary speaks. It's never good, but yeah, nothing really has come out. Oh shit! I've got two charts open. All right, we can get rid of that chart. We only need one up. So, yeah, we're just waiting for a pullback, essentially. Just got to wait for that pullback. Let's see how the volume profile's developed, actually. We might have some gaps now. Yes, we do. The first gap has been created right here. So if we get a pullback into that gap, there might be a nice long position available for us. So that is kind of what we're looking at. You can see the volume spiking in that area. So, all right, if we can get a bit of a pullback back into that kind of area, I'll be interested in buying. Come on, boys, let's do this. It's very slow, the market today. There's less kind of noise. If you actually look at how the candles are moving, they're not moving as erratic as they usually do. It's actually a very calm, it almost feels pre-market. Is there like a bank holiday or something? Why is it so calm? No, I have no idea. It is Earth Day today. Maybe that's what it is. People are celebrating Earth Day and not trading. I don't know. Oh, come on. Give me a pullback. That was pathetic. What was that? That was nothing. What an absolute joke. Well, still got to wait. Not much to do. Let's have a look at the ES while we wait for the NQ to do whatever it wants to do. We'll look at the ES. Let's see how that is faring up. So Cody, I believe, said 25 points away from all-time highs. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're still got a bit of movement. Yep, you're right. About 25 points away. All right. Well, that means tech is doing quite well, isn't it? I thought since Tim Cook stepped down, I don't know. I thought it might not do as well. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Apple dropped by like 1% or something. That's what I saw at least. I never actually checked. But tech seems to be doing quite well. It's just shooting up. Look at that. Didn't even give us a chance to enter. The most shallow pullback ever. Barely even a pullback. Couldn't even get to that little gap. We literally, I mean, 17 points actually. It doesn't look like much, but it's actually not a bad bit of a drop. But yeah. So yeah, the strategy here is basically wait for a pullback and jump in. Every time you see big buyers come in, just join them. Join, join, join. And in terms of, where could this end? I'm gonna have my eye on 27,000 just because it's it's a round number. That's kind of like the only thing you have when you're at all-time highs. You've got no structure to base anything on. So I would say round numbers is probably your best bet, you know? So I don't know. It's really not much you can do when you're at all-time highs. It's calm because no tweets yet today. Just wait for them. They're going to come. Got a lovely long there from 899 to 960 on NQ. 2 minis. Oh, beautiful. 2 minis as well. That's a nice profit right there. Lock it up, Tamsleen. Lock it up. Done for the day. Enjoy the money. Beautiful. Man, this has really turned into a nice trend, hasn't it? Almost too nice. Almost suspiciously nice, this trend. The gap has kind of moved up a bit. I bet it's touched it, actually. It did touch it. It was just a bit annoying. Never mind. Yeah, yeah, all right, fair enough. Damn, there is no letting off right now. I am still waiting for like a half decent pullback. It just feels wrong to enter a buy when you're so high up. But I am curious, so 2,700, since that is, that's a major round number. It's not even a quarter, it's not a half. It is, flat 1,000 basically. So I mean, I can imagine a lot of people just got their TPs around 27,000, So I do expect something in and around that area. We're not far away from it now. What are we, 40 points? Not even 35 points. So maybe it's a good time for a pullback, and then we can just do the last sprint to 27,000. Here we go. All right. So we've got buyers willing to jump in again, but nothing too major. 30 here, 30 there. Oh, shit. They're just... It's just so shallow, these pullbacks. Really, really shallow. I think that's all it's going to give us. Yeah, I don't think there's going to really be a retracement. It's just going to do the next leg already. Yeah, look, buyers are coming back in again. I don't know. We shall see. Unless it goes to 27,000 now and then gives us a decent pullback and then potentially buy it up again. That could happen. But either way, I don't really, because if I was to enter, my TP would be 27,000, because I can almost not guarantee it, but I'm very confident there's going to be a lot of people exiting the market, a lot of buyers getting out at 27,000, because it's the only thing you can really base something on. We can't really base it on anything else. Like, there's no structure, there's no highs. You can only look at the number and create a psychological level out of it. So I can imagine there's just going to be a lot of profit taking in and around that area. So I feel maybe we'll hit 27,000, because it doesn't look like it's going to give us a pullback right now. Like, it looks like it will just extend to 27. So when we get there, maybe we get a pullback, and then we can assess the situation. Are buyers still happy to start, buying it up again? What's the deal? Maybe people don't exit. We don't know, but I kind of want to wait for 27,000 and figure out what is actually going to happen there. 30-second chart with 382 fib bounces. Here we go. Oh, it's just being slow now, isn't it? It's just playing games. Oh, I'm going to put my leg up a bit. I'm getting old. I need to stretch. Okay. Bit of something woke up a bit there. What happened there? I think someone dumped an order. I think some buyers just exited manually. Not entirely sure why, because I don't think those were legit sellers. It doesn't really make sense. Do you know what I mean? Why would you randomly dump a bunch of sell orders? Just, I don't know. So I think that was just a buyer exiting there, creating a little bit of a shock. Nothing too major. And then buyers buying it back up again. Let's see if they can sprint to 27,000. The big 27. Let's do it. Up, up, and away. Up we go to 27,000. Up we go to 27,000. Low volume for the day overall. Absolutely, Cody. It's a bit asleep today, isn't it? But it's a calm market, and technically calm markets are nicer to trade. So we shouldn't really complain, to be fair. Because it's an easy kind of, you got time to process your decisions, Am I going to get in? Am I not? You got those couple of seconds, extra just to kind of make that decision, rather than when the market's so erratic, you don't have that time. And before you know it, it's already moved and you're like, oh shit, I missed it, or whatever, So let's see. We're so close to it. Please don't sing for us. Noted, Nils. I will no longer sing. It's just so boring, this market. Oh, here we go. Look at these buyers coming in. Here we go. Are we getting it? Are we going to hit 27 any second now? Let's see if that volume spikes. Let's see if I'm right. Are there going to be a shit ton of take profits at 27,000? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. How are you going to get that close to it? Basically 4 ticks away. Not 4 ticks, 4 points away. All right, we're still waiting. Nervous exit fingers. Exactly, it must be. People getting a bit nervous. Quickly getting out. I get it. I get it. I do it as well. All right. Here we go. Still people exiting. Come on. Up we go. This always happens. Whenever you get close to like an area where there's a lot of take profits, everything just slows down. Because it takes a lot more ballsy people to enter and buy now, knowing, you know, a lot of people are exiting not far away, because you're essentially, you know, betting that there's going to be a breakout and it's going to keep going. Come on, here we go. Surely, any second now. Here we are. Let's see how many people exit. Because I want to see the initial number the moment we touch it, what the delta is, you know? Oh, you freaking people dumping their orders, man. Come on, dude. You got so close. You have to dump your order now. Well, people are exiting, that's for sure. We can see people exiting right now, you know, just dumping their orders unnecessarily. But it's not real sell pressure. So you're going to keep that in mind. What you're seeing here is not real sell pressure. It's just people dumping because they're, like Neil said, getting a bit nervous, you know, oh, we're so close to the TP. I'd rather just, you know, bag it now. I get it. Like, it makes sense. But that was really not necessary. I mean, come on, dude. Like, it would have touched it. If you didn't dump your order there, whoever that person was, if they didn't dump their order there, it would have touched 27,000. Do you know what I mean? You're the reason it's done that, not anyone else. You are the reason. You know, you could have had your take profit hit, but you decided to dump your order prematurely. So now we're just going to wait for buyers to buy it back up again and push this market up. Let's see if we can actually jump in, maybe for a quick scalp potentially. Let's see if buyers are willing to enter. Where are the buyers? 55.70. It just feels wrong to enter for a buy here, but no, I'm gonna wait. It just feels it's too close. Do you know what I mean? And I know people are going to be dumping orders every time they get an opportunity to dump. They will dump their buy positions because they know of that 27,000 is going to have a shit ton of take profits there, and the market is going to react to it. So I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? Be caught in a candle like that. The closer we get to 27,000, you're going to keep getting people dumping. Lots of shorts entering will fuel the push to 27. I think so. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. It's just like, look at like this right here. I can almost guarantee you there's 90% of this volume, and that's just a random number. I don't have any statistics here, but a large, you know, a majority of the percentage of shorts here is some buyer who, I don't know where they got in. They could have just got in this area here. Who knows? We don't know where they got in, but some buyer in the market basically just clicking flatten and it just dumps it. Do you know what I mean? That's all it was. It just cleared the book because it has to match up with every buy limit in order to dump an order. If you're clicking flatten as a buyer, you're converting into sells, into shorts, and it has to match up with the next available buy limit. So all the buy limits that were available just got wiped out by that one giant exit. And that's why it looks like all aggressive sellers, but it's not real aggression. This is just people dumping. You know, this is actually real sellers coming in thinking, oh, look, the market's going to reverse and potentially get trapped now. And now real buyers are coming in to buy it up. You know, these guys are actually a bit dangerous here. They're the ones probably going to get squeezed out. And it looks like you see buyers taking advantage. So look at the dynamics at play here. Some big buyer dumps, basically exits manually and dumps the market down. People think that is all big aggression, and they come in aggressively, real sellers coming in, and then buyers taking advantage of these vulnerable people. Remember, this isn't real volume. This is bullshit, right? Just ignore it. It's a buyer exiting. This is real volume. These sellers here, these people are actually vulnerable, and then buyers taking advantage of it and trying to squeeze them out, right? Those people are you know, the ones trapped. That's why you should never chase the volume. Do you know what I mean? Because you could be one of those people. Now, you can avoid that, becoming one of these people, if you're able to clearly identify, like if this was real sellers, then yeah, these people would be okay to enter short, right? Oh, we're about to hit it. But since we know that they're not real sellers, logic will tell you that's just someone dumping, getting out of a buy order. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to chase that volume because we're the ones going to get trapped here. Come on. I bet we're going to get like one tick away and then someone's going to dump again. We're just oh dear. That would be funny. Come on, any second. But you know, this candle here has given people. So unfortunately, this candle here, this big sell candle, has kind of, you can see more sellers willing to come in because they're looking at this candle and they're thinking, oh, this is legit. It's real sell volume. There's aggressive sellers. Look how big the sell volume is. But they're not looking at the context of that sell volume. And they're thinking it's a good short, but they're going to just get wiped out, you know, because the mass majority of buyers are still got skin in the game. They're all waiting for 27 to be hit. This was just someone being a bit of a dickhead. Do you see what I mean? And dropping their orders a little early before everyone else was going to get out. And they probably did that in order to ensure they get filled, right? They probably dumped early, not because they didn't believe it will go to 27, but because they wanted to ensure there was enough liquidity in the book to actually get filled. So they dumped it a little bit earlier. Sure, they moved the price down a bit and their average fill is going to be a bit shit now. Their average exit will probably be around here rather than up here. But it guarantees that they are actually exiting the market, because once we hit this area, the amount of orders that need to be executed can cause the market to have a much more sudden drop, potentially, and they might not get filled out perfectly. So do you see what I mean? They probably did it just to ensure. Here we go. All right, take profits being hit. You can see that bit of nice big chunk of spike volume. It's not as much as I expected, to be honest. I mean, 224. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of. If I actually look at the real buy sell volume, yeah, it wasn't as much as I expected. I thought it would be a bit bigger, truth be told. So it might at least get a bit higher. So, but there was definitely take profits got triggered there. Let's go back to Delta real quick. But yeah. And it looks like buyers are still happy to keep buying it. They're not actually really that. There's actually a lot of. It wasn't that many buyers getting out as I expected, meaning that they're still holding. There's buyers holding it and still willing to keep buying. And this is the problem with all-time highs. We just don't know when. But I think if we have a bit of a pullback, I think a lot of buyers are going to get nervous and start exiting as well. I don't think they're all going to be kind of. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, all right. Well, at least that's been triggered. We know there are a few big buyers out the market. We had a little chunk of take profits happen. We're probably seeing some people get trailed out. We definitely know that some big ass buyer just exited in one go. And I think that was the majority of the volume, to be honest, that actually moved a lot of this. Big chunk actually exited there. Because think about it, look, that was 880 delta. If that person waited and had a TP at 27, not only would you have the additional 200, so call it 460 delta on the buy side, right? That would be buy delta if it was a take profit triggered up here. You would have over 1,000 contracts, TP'd at 27,000. So, and then naturally, there's going to be a bunch of other little people who just decided to exit a bit early and whatnot. But it basically wasn't all triggered at 27,000. So, interesting. This is gold teaching there, Sammy. So good. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Yeah, front running. Absolutely, Neil. So game plan. I mean, still, I guess I'm still bullish. Let's look at what the efficiency is saying. Has the efficiency dropped? Has it increased? What has actually happened on the efficiency score? I hate these wicks, man. It looks disgusting. But it looks like. So if you actually look what we're seeing here, notice something real quick. Notice this low here, right? Is this low here. And then we moved up. All right, fine. And we went higher than that high. That makes sense because we did. But notice that this efficiency right now, these few candles on the sell side are far more efficient than they were. And they're already at this low and kind of taking it out, but they haven't taken it out on price, right? Meaning sellers in these candles are actually getting quite efficient. Meaning, other words, buyers have exited. As we already kind of knew, we already identified a lot the buyers have exited, right? Oh, what the hell's going on here? Must be someone creating a big order because it's just gone a bit crazy. I don't know if that's a bug in the calculation or not. It probably is a bug in the calculation. That seemed a bit insane. But notice how now sellers on the efficiency side, at least, are a little bit, their candles are a little bit more serious now because there's not that many buyers anymore. At least in that move down, a lot of the buyers who were in the market have already exited. It's given them a bit more, what do you call it? A bit more power to actually move the market a bit. So now that doesn't mean that it's going to drop and there's going to be a reversal. But what it does mean is if there's going to be a pullback, it will probably be a little bit deeper. It's not going to just be a little tiny shallow pullback. You can see that buyers are they're not causing that many problems to the sellers as they were earlier on here, where on the sell side, the candles were just, at least on the efficiency wise, they weren't really doing that much damage. So this is the first kind of sign that we might get a bit better of a pullback. Now, the question is, are buyers as well? How efficient are these few little buyers that we're seeing coming in? But they're quite efficient as well. You can see their candle's actually quite big already. So actually buyers are still more efficient than sellers. So it's still very much a buy game. Because these last two candles on the buy side are actually pretty decent, right? These ones. They're actually quite efficient with the volume that they're posting. So let's look at their volume. And yeah, their volume is, compared to the sellers, what the sell volume was, it is less, right? Like the sell volume was 597 in that candle alone. Here we got 32 delta, 89 delta on the candles. Buyers have got less volume in the market and they're pushing it up better. So their efficiency is still better, right? But I can imagine we might start seeing a bit, you know, it really depends. If sellers, I mean, if buyers are still happy to keep buying and coming in strong, they will keep pushing this market up. But this is the first little sign of weakness where potentially if sellers come in strong and are really genuinely coming in strong, they can actually push this market down, right? But it's still kind of hard to say at this moment in time. But it's the first kind of sign of weakness, or even the first sign of strength from the sellers. But I wouldn't want to short it, though. Definitely not. I still wouldn't want to short this market yet. But we are seeing some sellers come in, actually, in and around this area. There seems to be buyers trying to get it up, but sellers are pushing the numbers down. Let's see what happens here. 31, 41, 53. There are some sellers coming in, but still small chunks. 66, 60, 64. Buyers coming back in again. 80. That was a big chunk of buyers right there. So let's see if those that chunk of buyers that came in here at 69, let's see if that person can actually keep the market up and prop it up a bit, or if they start failing. It looks like, well, it's a bit hard to tell right this second. 20, 25, 28, 22, 33, 26. They are having a bit of a struggle here. No, they came in again heavy, 100. Now they keep adding. Buyers are still happy to keep buying. They struggled a little bit in this area. You saw a bit of a struggle on the buy side. They are still happy to keep buying. And if they keep that kind of energy up and keep, or are still happy to keep buying as we go up, they're going to keep going up. But saying that, sellers are coming in a little bit. They may have trapped some of those buyers. That was a big chunk of buyers again that could be struggling now. It might not be bad for a short scalp. I know it's a bit insane to say that. I wouldn't take it on my cash account, but fuck it. I'm gonna go in Ola Prime account. I'm not gonna go in my cash account, but I feel like we could get a pullback here. That's the first time I'm seeing buyers come in with like 100 contracts and kind of struggle at the top here. Like, granted, if they bring it back up above that high, then all right, we're completely wrong. It's not something I would want to take cash, but since this is just basically a challenge account, it's only fake money. I don't mind. Don't really care too much. But what happened there was the first kind of sign of trouble, I would say, for the buyers here. They came in a bit of chunks, but they weren't really able to push it up. Again, they're coming in chunks. Sellers might be able to squeeze some of these buyers out here. We might get a bit of a victory. Definitely going against the trend. Definitely a dangerous move. Because I'm ignoring, essentially, let's see what the efficiency thing is saying. Yeah, I mean, it's still very much on the buy side, but all it will take is a few more sellers to get aggressive, because sellers aren't really that aggressive, right? If sellers do become a bit aggressive, they could absolutely take this, I think. But it looks like buyers are still aggressive. Let's see how they fare up here. 68, 53. I think I'm going to get stopped out. Not quite, not yet. Bit of sell pressure coming in. Let's see if the sellers can do one more little, they're not coming in heavy, but they did come in. So you can see sellers are a bit cautious. They're willing to come in a bit higher up. They're not willing to come in lower down. And that kind of makes sense because, it's been very bullish. Sellers are going to be very cautious. There's going to be people willing to fade the market, but they're going to want like the absolute best price. So whenever we get a bit higher up, they'll jump in. They're not willing to go, sell at the lows. But look at that. Okay, we're getting a bit. I think that's some buyers getting out the market there, getting a bit nervous. We are getting buyers exiting. But you just saw that little bit of weakness on the buy side, right? They were coming in, but they weren't really doing much. And I think if sellers come in aggressive now, they could push this market down quite well. 100. So let's put a line here. Let's see how many buyers get stopped out if we break that line. There are some aggressive sellers coming in now. So this is kind of where the sellers are being tested. We need to see these sellers remain effective. And then we know, okay, this might not be terrible for the sellers here. We're just about to take out this low. Come on, boys. Not a huge spike in volume. There's a bit of a spike there. So there are definitely some buyers getting out. I'm going to move this down because I think take profit could be even lower, to be honest. Obviously, we've got this low here that sellers need to break through. Excuse me. But I can always have my finger on flatten and just get out if I feel, it's not going to happen. But I might as well trail the, what do you call it? The take profit a bit. No need to get out right away. 27, 61, 10, 20. Let's see if we can stop out buyers coming in. Look, buyers coming in at the low. That's generally not a great sign, but let's see if we can get below them. If we can't in the next few seconds, I'll just flatten. Let's push them down. 100. They're coming in again. They're quite aggressive. They're not willing to get stopped out, buyers. They're actually willing to add to their position rather than accept the loss. But that might fuel some sellers to be a bit more, aggressive. But I just don't think there's enough sellers in the market to actually push through. So I'm going to get out and call it a day. But yeah, the buyers are just not willing to get stopped out just yet. They know that they're in a position of power. It's going to take sellers a bit more, what do you call it? It's going to take a lot more ballsy sellers to fight against those buyers, but it's not going to happen, essentially. So, yeah. But nonetheless, it's interesting to see it, in real time sometimes. When you see buyers fail a little bit, like you saw the chunks of volume come in 30, 40, 50, like in one go. But there was absorption there, and then when sellers did come in, even so slightly, they were doing just a little bit better than buyers, and if they could take that, and like I said, look, if we get above that kind of high, and those buyers become more efficient, we're out. Like, if sellers got buyers managed to push up a little bit more, yeah, all right, fine, then we're wrong. This area's been cleared. It's not an issue anymore. But for buyers, this area was a bit of an issue in real time. And sellers tried to take advantage of them, did manage to do it, but the buyers ultimately, you saw it at the bottom. The moment we almost touched the low, they just came in. Didn't give a fuck. They don't care. you know there's going to be a bunch of stops at the bottom here, below that low there. Nope, they're going to double down. They're not even, they're not accepting a loss. They're going to double down. And that's what they did. So it's no point kind of fighting that. Do you know what I mean? I gave it another few seconds to see if sellers are just, I don't know. You never know. They might just come in really aggressively and squeeze them out, and then we get an even better move. But yeah, it just wasn't happening. But it might happen now. I mean, sellers did come in quite aggressive. I think, and I think they're okay. These buyers are going to be sweating themselves a bit. Obviously, I wouldn't want to go short again because I know that there's an angry buyer here who's not afraid. I don't want to go up against that person. But they tried it again. Look, they're adding the buy now. They're not even allowing it. They're just not having it. Sellers tried again. But they just came in, those buyers. Yeah, they're not taking any shit from the sellers. ES is lagging behind NQ, so potentially will continue to push a bit higher still. ES is actually hitting supply now. Nice. Honestly, I'm finding that when the move is so obvious, dip at 27K, it tends to do the opposite as sellers stops continue to feel the upside. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get that kind of, because when something's really obvious, people try to front run stuff as well. Like we had that buyer get out early because it's obvious. Do you know what I mean? But in this case, there wasn't really that many take profits still sitting up there. A lot of the buyers already exited prematurely, so it didn't have as crazy of a reaction. But if you didn't have the footprint, you wouldn't have known that. Do you know what I mean? And you would still assume there's going to be huge amount of take profits there, but ultimately it wasn't there. I'm short on ES. Has better levels for me to trade than NQ. Nice one. Cheers, Sammy. I took that short with you. Excellent. Good stuff, Peter. Just for interest's sake, the petroleum boom is not published yet. I wonder how long it takes. Oh, well, is there not? I will check after. Boosted your script. Well, someone has already boosted it, so it must be. I don't know who this person is. I'm assuming it's one of you guys. Mihoni Van. Who's Mihoni Van? Is that one of you guys? Don't know why he boosted the script. I mean, if it's not one of you guys, I don't know who this person is, but clearly he likes a bit of midday petroleum boom. Who wouldn't? It should be up there though, because if this person can boost it, I mean, it's got to be. And there's been 23 views. It might just take a few minutes to, actually, what's the word? Appear. I don't see it. May have gone through a TV trading view. It probably has gone through a trading view review. I wouldn't be surprised considering the name and description is just utter rubbish. But what I can do is just give you guys the source code as well. I tell you what, just drop me an email if you want the source code so you can just paste it into your own Pine editor. Or Cody says, I think we have to close TradingView and reopen it in order to see it. That could be it, actually. That could very well be it. But if for whatever reason, if you guys can't access it, just send me an email, sam@olaprime. And I can just send you the source code, and then you can just, paste it into your own Pine editor and add it to the chart if that's the case. All right. No, guys, just click this. Click that link. It works. Oh, did you paste a link in the chat? That's a great idea, actually. I could do that as well. I think that the YouTube chat thing may have accidentally removed the link. 1 minute. Because YouTube doesn't allow certain links to be pasted. But if I copy that, you're absolutely right. I can just paste it. Okay, I've pasted a link to it in the chat, so you guys can just click on that and hopefully it works. Good idea, Holy Earth. Yeah, I think YouTube automatically stops people from posting links. I don't know how to allow people to click links, but I don't know. But yeah, that should work nicely. Oh, I think the guys are about to get stopped out. Look at these sellers come in. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Look at this real quick. Look at that. 235 buyers trying to come in, still trying to push it up. They're about to get squeezed out. I think sellers are going to get this buyer out the market, potentially. I think this buyer's fucked. He's about to get stopped out. Damn. Let's see. Are they going to stop him out? Oh, he's still fighting it. You got to hand it to him. He's got a lot of heart. But I don't think he's taken it. I think he's gone. Look at that. The volume's starting to spike. 200. Oh, I don't think all the stops were hit just yet. I think a few stops were triggered, but Sammy, is it possible to have this indicator for potentially? I assume so. I assume it would work as long as you got the volume data, like the footprint data, and well, tick data you'll always have, like how many upticks and downticks. That's fine. So it should work technically on anything, but oh, you mean on Ninja Trader? Sorry. Yes. Sorry. For some reason, I thought you were talking about natural gas. I just realized you said NT. Yeah, if you ask ChatGPT to build it for you for Ninja Trader, it should work. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a very simple calculation. It's not really anything too dramatic. It's basically just dividing the amount of buy contracts with upticks and the amount of sell contracts with downticks, and then doing it cumulatively through the whole session, so you get a kind of graph of the efficiency rather than just basically like cumulative delta, but it's putting in the what do you call it? Yeah, it's just efficiency for like, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. It's quite a simple calculation. Works perfectly. Amazing. Awesome. I'm glad it's working. Damn, this buyer is still holding them off, but I don't think they can hold for much longer. I think sellers are about to break through, truth be told. I think sellers might break through here. So thanks, Sammy Yuda, man. You're welcome, Peter. You're welcome. Oh, there we go. No, still no stops were hit. We didn't get a spike. They haven't been stopped out yet. Buyers are still in. They're actually buying it back up again. They're still defending. They are very adamant, these buyers. They're still defending. I just want to see buyers get burnt a little bit. I don't know why. I'm kind of rooting for the sellers now. They've been the underdog, and they're finally, making a bit of. Oh man, the buyers are still coming in. They're not letting go. I like watching the live battle between buyers and sellers. You can almost see it. You can almost see. Just imagine two old men bickering with each other. On one hand, you got the sellers. No, I'm gonna push it down, and then another dude just like, we're about to get stopped out. Ad, keep buying. You can actually see it in the charts, and that's the beauty of it. They're being stubborn. So all I have to do is insert this indicator into ChatGPT and ask it to translate it for the NinjaTrader 8 platform. I assume so. That would work. Yeah, that should work. Or use Claude, like Holy Earth says. Apparently, Claude's better. But it should. I mean, since the code's already kind of been coded, I imagine they'll just replace like I don't know what they call it, but like I don't know the names of like whatever it calls the functions and stuff to be. So it shouldn't be that difficult for any AI to do. To be fair. Damn. This is getting very, very this is the ultimate battle of today. And you wouldn't know it if you were just looking at the candles. You wouldn't know that this is actually such a defining moment of today where you got, oh, that buyer has come in with vengeance. Oh man, look at that. He's actually got out a lot of sellers. Damn, that buyer still managed it. That is Black Rock right there. That's not an average person. That is Black Rock. But they haven't completely, the seller might come back in. Trading view is Pine Script. NinjaTrader 8 is C sharp. Chat seems to have improved lately, at least with Pine Script. Can't speak for Ninja Script. Yeah, I'll say ChatGPT has been really good. Like every time it's built something, I add it to chart and there was no errors. There was no compilation errors. It just built it nicely from the get-go. So um yeah, I'm very impressed. I do have the premium ChatGPT and I use the thinking model, or whatever you call it, like the latest model. I don't know if the free version is going to be not as good, I'm assuming. Damn, now the bias won. I genuinely thought for a few seconds there it was getting a bit touchy for that buyer. I thought, nah, sellers are going to take this and break out and get him out. But that buyer, fair play to him. He managed it. He managed to hold on for dear life and get that market up. Yeah, ChatGPT has Pine Script down. That's Citadel's Ken Griffin. It is someone who's just not giving up. I think it's an ego thing. Whoever that person was, that was an ego thing. Because imagine being big institutional trader on such a bullish day, and then losing on in a bullish position, losing money, and people just being like, "How the fuck did you lose money buying today?" I think that was a pure ego move right there. But the seller is still there as well. They're not giving up either. Don't clap him, Sammy. He just stopped me out. Luckily at break even. I mean, I'm just clapping him because I kind of almost respect how ballsy that person was. They just wouldn't allow themselves to get stopped out. But so Neil, you would have been one of these people here at the stops right there. All this what is buy volume at the top? That's all those sellers, unfortunately, getting wiped out. So the real battle again becomes here. Sellers are coming in fresh. So if those sellers can hold it off, again, I wouldn't really want to short just yet. As much as I love the underdog, this buyer just seems a little bit too, yeah, they just seem a little bit too, what's the word? Too dangerous. They're just not giving up. And if someone's not willing to exit the market and actually add onto a losing position, and they've got deep pockets, you're not beating them. Do you know what I mean? It will take someone as mental as them and as ballsy as them. And there's not many people willing to go that far. Most people take risk management quite serious. They'll say, "Nope, I'm getting out." This person, absolutely not. They just add on to a losing position, and if they got deep pockets, yeah, they can really create damage. So, Sammy, new here. Talk about your signals method. I refer trends and hidden divergence. Kite Frog, good to see you. Let me just read that again. Sammy, new here. Talk about your signals method. I refer trends and hidden divergence. So I wouldn't really call it signals, Kai Frog. It's very much just reading the story, you know, candle for candle, and kind of, if you watch these live streams enough with me, you'll kind of understand, how it's very hard to kind of say, oh, this is my strategy. I look for A, B, C, and D, because a lot of the time it's very kind of like every day can be a bit different. Every like this big sell candle has a whole different story in context than this sell candle here, because everything matters within context. It's like this candle was created because we were getting close to 27,000, nice big round number. There's a lot of take profits up there, right? And this is a buyer dumping a little bit earlier to ensure they get filled, right? And they just dump a buyer from the big move up we had earlier, just dumping a lot of, getting out the market basically, right? So this is that candle was created differently. And knowing that that was a buyer dumping would have avoided you from seeing it as, oh, lots of sell aggression, and being one of these sellers who jump in trying to, short the market, believing it's going to go down. Then we hit the 27,000. You saw some take profits get triggered in the footprint, which looks like buy volume. And then we had sellers come in again. And now it's been here like a battle. And you've been seeing there's a buyer in the market at these lows who's just not willing to get stopped out. They keep buying it up, keep buying it up. They don't want to get stopped out. And there's a real big battle going on between sellers trying to get below here and this buyer just buying it up. So everything comes down to kind of reading the market as a story rather than just looking for what do you call it? Like a particular thing. Do you know what I mean? Hi, I use hidden divergence in trends footprints. I had a bearish regular divergence there in the 1 minute. Thanks. I like footprints. I have delta on my chart. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Well, if you like footprints, you're at the right stream. That's all we do here pretty much. Look at the footprint and make up funny stories based on what we're seeing. So yeah, stick around. I'm sure you'll like the streams. Great to have you here, Kite Frog. So this seller, or these sellers are still, you're seeing, obviously a lot of this volume here, a lot of sellers getting stopped out, as we broke above that little high here, little fly there. So we can ignore that buy volume. That's real buyers coming in again, real sellers coming in again here. Not much volume here really to kind of shout about. Again, buyers trying to push it up, buyers buying the bottom as well, not willing to get stopped out. And sellers keep selling against them. Sellers really do want to squeeze these buyers out. But what we're noticing is buyers are not getting out the market. Do you know what I mean? I would be happy to normally start shorting in and around here, because I'm seeing, sellers are trying to squeeze buyers out, but I won't take a short. And the main reason I don't want to take a short is because we haven't seen buyers exit. right? There's a buyer in the market who, instead of allowing themselves, if they had a stop loss below here, or their risk management tells them, look, if we break that low, all right, get out of our position. Rather than just allowing it to happen, they add to their position, And if they're willing to add and keep adding, it makes them dangerous because they're not willing to exit. And again, even like on these little lows here, where we had some buyers come in, granted, not a huge amount, but we had some buyers come in, could be the same guy, we don't know. When it got below that low, they didn't allow themselves to exit. They added to their position again. Let's see what happens here. Again, they're adding at the bottom. But sellers are also very eager at trying to get this market down. You can see that sell volume coming in. But again, that buyer is adding. Every time it gets near the bottom, nope, they'll add more buy contract, or keep buying it up to stop the sellers from pushing it down. But someone's got to fail. Eventually, someone will fail. This is basically it, Someone will fail eventually, whether it's buyers, sellers. But at this point in time, you just don't know. Do you know what I mean? You just don't know who wants it more. It does look like the buyer wants it more. Let's be honest. To me, it does look like the buyer wants it more, but anything can happen. Gamer XP, good to see you. How are you? Why do you use TradingView as footprint program? It's not showing accurate market depth, is it? So that's a misconception. Honestly, it's a big misconception. I don't know where it came from, why people think TradingView doesn't have accurate data. Don't get me wrong, like Sierra charts, like the classical order flow software, they are exceptional. Really, really good stuff. Like I used Sierra charts most of my career. But a lot of it's unnecessary. A lot of it is customizable. Like the firm I work for use Sierra charts because you could literally build anything within Sierra charts. But as a retail trader, I like TradingView is great. It's cloud-based. My charts load wherever I am. I don't have to, it's so intuitive to use. The general drawing tools are great. I love the fact that I can adjust the ticks per row on the footprint so I can see it visually better, because it's more about reading the data coming in real life rather than anything else. The the way you can customize it is really nice. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't got as many features as most order flow softwares, but give it time. I think they will. And the data is real data. As long as you got the CME data subscription and you're looking at it from a CME product, or COMEX if you're like doing gold and whatnot, then yeah, the data is real, man. It's real data. It's not made up, If you're using it on like a CFD product, then of course there's just tick data, then it's pointless. But as long as you use it with the real, and you got the CME data subscription, you can trust the data. Don't worry. Now, it might look a bit different on different order flow softwares, because every order flow software, you don't know. What's the word? Like it comes down to, ticks per row, for example. If you just do one tick per single price level right now, just a delta. And there is going to be a bit of slippage, okay, here and there. Some softwares, because especially when the market is very volatile, there's going to be slippage. And what TradingView does is, so for example, you see where there's 2 10s here. It's very unlikely that there was exactly 10 delta on both levels. What actually happened is that it moved so quickly, TradingView wasn't sure where those orders were placed exactly, but they know that there was 20 delta. So they're going to just distribute it equally between 2 levels. So you get every software will calculate, same with all those 2s, for example, right? And we saw that happen really quickly in real time, actually. We saw that candle jump. TradingView doesn't know in this area exactly the volume distribution perfectly. It just knows there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 delta, and the market gapped. So it just distributes 18 delta among the gap. Does that make sense? Whereas other softwares might have a bit better way of calculating things and keeping track, and it might be a bit better. So they might distribute it more accurately. But ultimately, all this kind of stuff, it doesn't really make a massive difference. Some people can get really anal about things like that. And fair enough. If your strategy is, it needs to be super accurate to the T and stuff, you might be better using Sierra charts or something. But ultimately, I just like bigger clusters and just seeing how the delta changes in real time. And so for me, it doesn't really matter massively, All right, good to know. Thanks for your answer. You're most welcome, gamer. Gentlemen, my eyes are looking like red and green candles. I'm off to find some sleep. Thanks, Sammy. Excellent as always. Peter, have a great nap, or not a nap, but a great sleep. I'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, Peter. So yeah, that buyer, he just wanted it more, didn't he? And we saw it happen again. Every time we got close to getting stopped out, nope, they kept adding to it, kept adding. They just weren't willing to let go. They weren't willing for sellers to take control. Sellers were trying and trying and trying, but they just weren't. Yeah, that one buyer just had deeper pockets. And ultimately, as we start drifting up, I can imagine sellers are going to start losing a bit more interest in trying to short. And look at that. Sellers are definitely dropping out. You're seeing big spikes happening. It's just not happening. So yeah, and this is why it's important to see what happens at, because it can give you a clue if what do you call it? Like you can kind of gauge how much one side wants it. And we could gauge just from, these lows here, every time we got near to them, we were seeing the opposite of what is generally seen as good risk management, right? We're seeing people add to losing positions because they're desperate to get it up rather than just accepting their loss, because they would have otherwise got stopped out here and you would have seen a bunch of red numbers, and then the market would have drifted down a bit more, and then there will be a fresh wave of new buyers trying to buy it up, and the same shit happens over and over and over. But they weren't willing to let go. So it's still very much bullish until a fresh wave of sellers come in, until buyers eventually get out the market. We don't know. And because we're at all-time highs, we truly don't know where this buyer is willing to get out. We just have no idea. So the only thing we can wait for is essentially see them exit. Do we see a big spike in buy volume appear? That would be their take profit. Do we see a big, dump or sell orders? That could be buyers dumping their orders, right? So if we see a big red candle with lots of sell volume, just appear, and it's all red, 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 all the delta, we can assume rather than us one big aggressive seller coming in, because it doesn't really make sense, right? We can assume, okay, that is one of these buyers, whoever it is, dumping their order and getting out the market. Now, if we see a spike up and there's loads of buy volume, shit ton of buy volume all at the top, we know that's most likely buyers taking profit. The only issue is we don't know where that's going to happen. It's very hard to predict where they're going to take profit because there's nothing to base it on. They could want to, they could set their take profit here or here. We have no idea at all-time highs. So it becomes a bit more tricky, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But all in all, I think the major move of today was kind of over. It does still look like we haven't really broken out properly yet. I do think buyers might keep pushing it up. It doesn't look like they're willing to let go just yet, or so. Yeah, it might just be a bit choppy for a while and be a bit boring, but eventually there'll be someone will win. But it's been about 2 hours now. I haven't taken a cash account trade, annoyingly, but I have taken a few trades on the, what's it called, challenge account. It's not been great, but yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I think that's pretty much what the market will give me today for now. So we'll leave it at that. But tomorrow I will be back again. Same time, same place, 9:30 Eastern. We'll be back, and I'll catch you all then. Have a great rest of your trading day. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, someone's just asked a question, NASA. Trying to understand what you said about buyers taking profit with a big buy volume. How do they get out with more buying? Or are you referring to exhaustion burst to finish the run? Right. So NASA, great question. Before I go, I'll explain it. So it looks like more buying, but it's actually, think about it like this, right? Here's an order, okay? Here's a buy order. When you enter a market order as a buy, it appears on the footprint as a buy, right? That's easy enough to understand. Your take profit is a sell limit order. It's a pending order, but it's a sell limit order, right? It's a passive order. And your stop loss is a sell stop order, all right? Now, in the book, sell limits, if you ever look at the depth of market, sell limits are on the side here. These are people pending to sell at a certain price. That also includes take profits for buyers. And buy limits are on the left-hand side below price, right? These are people willing to buy, and then price will be in the middle. Now, as the market goes up and triggers sell limits, remember the footprint only shows aggressive orders. So that sell limit, which is a take profit, gets matched up to the next available aggressive buyer. So it actually appears as buys on the footprint. So buyers take profits appear as buys. Buyers, now your sell stop, your stop loss as a buyer gets converted. It's not a buy limit, right? It's a sell stop order. That actually gets converted as a market order and appears as a sell. So for a buyer, their entry looks like a buy on the footprint. Their take profit looks like a buy. Their stop loss looks like a sell. And if they manually exit, so literally exit, it also looks like a sell. And for a seller, it's the other way around, right? So I hope that makes sense, NASA, okay? Once you understand that, because a lot of people always think an exit is always going to be the opposite, but actually take profits for buyers look like buyers on the footprint, all right? That's why you always get at highs, you get a big chunk of buy volume appear. Like here, whenever you touch a high, you get a big chunk of buy volume like this appear. That's just people taking profit. That's all it is, right? Thanks for explaining that essential point. So it's still those early buyers getting out, but in a passive or non-aggressive manner, plan to exit, basically. Yeah, exactly. 100% there. So hope that cleared it up, but we'll leave it at that. NASA, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you can tune in tomorrow again. But yeah, everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.